Okay, everybody, it is 8 o'clock on Monday night, so we are here to get this party started. My name is Harlequin Murray, and I have the extreme privilege of being able to introduce our speaker this evening, Miss Ellen Winn. Just to give you a little bit of her background, she grew up on a family farm in Dallas, Georgia, just outside of Atlanta. She was a corporate trainer and operations director for Domino's Pizza. And in 1997, she left the corporate world to start up her own restaurant and has been a business owner ever since. When I initially met her, she was the national training director for a network marketing company, and she was a partner in a huge training center here in Atlanta. So it's obvious Ellen loves to train and help people, but she is DAC's first and only area director at this time. And she is also the first to be voted as the 3-time Agent of the Month. So without further ado, Miss Ellen Winn. Take it away, Ellen.
Thank you, Harlequin. I appreciate that introduction as always. And I appreciate what you do for the team. Folks, if this is the first time you've joined us on a Team Zoom, welcome. Welcome to DAC and welcome to our Monday night weekly Team Zoom. I'm seeing my screen is doing funky stuff again. Harlequin, are you seeing an admit there? Are they coming in?
Yeah, I've been letting them in.
Okay, so I'm still, there it goes. My screen just,
yeah, there's one that is
back up. Now it's showing right. So, okay, that's what happens when we do live video, right? So yeah, if this is your first time joining us, welcome to DAC. Welcome to our DAC family. I'm super excited about what's happening in our company right now. Folks like Harlequin, who have been here for a really long time, working alongside me. I love getting to see people have success here, and it wouldn't happen without people like Harlequin that are plugged in and are sticking and staying the course. And that's what I always say is just get started with us and then stick and stay the course. Make sure that you're planning on being here a year from now. Stick around long enough to really solidify that DAC is the real deal and is an incredible opportunity. So I'm going to do like I always do on Mondays, and that is get us in screen share mode and start off with some team recognition. And let's see, Harlequin, I can see you. Is thumbs up if you can see my screen. Awesome. All right, thank you. And we get over here. Okay. Get out of the different view and team slides. All right, so first off with our top recruiters, this is a weekly challenge going on, seeing how many new agents we can add to the team. And this is going to be the week of 10/14 through 10/20. We're always a few days behind. But in first place, we had Katina Willis with 11 new agent recruits. Congratulations, Katina. Second place, we had Eric Johnson, and I've got my numbers there wrong on the left side. We have second place is Eric with 9 new recruits. In third place, we had Laurel Smith with 4 new recruits. Congratulations to Eric and to Laurel. And then in fourth place, we had a 3-way tie. Michael Edmondson, Alex Marmel, and myself all tied with 3 new agents apiece. And then each with 1 new recruit is Ronald Brown, TFI Group, Joseph Canova, Eugene Clapp, Alexis DeWitt, Ashield Hodge, Susan Luttrell, Jennifer Martin, Barry Phoenix, Ivy Rodriguez, Shane Rutledge, Chris Bartalis, Gregory Stevens, Joni Vincent, congratulations, and John Wallace. Each had 1 new recruit. So glad to see these numbers posting on the board. The recruiting numbers aren't what they were a few weeks ago. So some of our top recruiters have slacked off on some of the numbers that they're posting on the board. Some of our top recruiters like Eric continue on in that. So if you're not getting a message out about the DAC agent opportunity, what are you waiting for? We've got a great promotion this month. our fourth quarter recruiting incentive. So this incentive is really for agents that have been around for a while and are no longer engaged in the compensation plan. So let me touch on that real quick. I want to touch on this over and over again because we've got some terminology that we use that is common for me and common for folks that have been around for a while. But as you're new in our business, learning the different terms and the promotion levels and qualification levels in DAC, it can be a little bit confusing. So I like covering this over and over again so it's crystal clear for you. But we have a qualification called engaged. When you get started as a new agent with DAC, you're automatically considered engaged for your first 60 days. After that 60-day period, to remain engaged, then you have to have a funded client every rolling 60 days. But again, you've got a grace period when you're brand new for those first 60 days. What does engaged mean? Well, engaged means it makes you eligible for the matching bonuses and leadership bonuses if you're building a team. If you're not going to build a team here and you're not going to be doing your own agency thing, engaged is not a qualification you even have to worry about, right? But if you're building a team, you want to stay engaged so that you can earn overrides on your team and earn those matching enroller bonuses. Okay, so that first way to do that is if you're brand new, you got a 60-day grace period. Second way to become engaged is to have a new or renewal funded client, which I just mentioned. That's what you want to do as you are going past your first 60 days, right? And then the third way that you can become engaged and stay engaged is to find 6 customer finance clients. When you have 6 customer finance clients on the books that are there month after month after month, you're automatically engaged as long as those customers stay on the books for us. So those are 3 things that you want to focus on to stay engaged and eligible for those fundings. So back to this incentive, right? If you've been with our company more than 60 days and you've not had a funded client in the past 60 days, or you don't have 6 personal customer finance clients or merchants on board, then you're no longer engaged and you're not eligible to earn team overrides and matching bonuses on personally recruited agents. However, this fourth quarter promotion makes you eligible to earn if you're recruiting new agents. So any new agents that you recruit during the month of October, November, and December, in their first 30 days, you're automatically considered engaged, whether you are engaged according to the comp plan or not. So let's go through that. If you're building a team and you're personally recruiting agents, because the only way you can build a team is for you to recruit at least one, and then they start duplicating that process. So let's say that you're building a team and you recruit a new agent this month through the fourth quarter, all the way through the end of the year, right? Let's say one of your frontline agents goes and helps a small business owner get $20,000 in funding. That new agent, since it's their first funding, they're going to make 3% of that $20,000 funding. So 3% is $600 that gets paid to the new agent that brought the client to the table. But because you're their enroller, if you're engaged or you're in this fourth quarter promotion as their enroller, you're going to make a 25% match on their commission. So 25% of $600 is going to pay you $150 for starting to build that team, and that team that you recruit is starting to get clients. Okay. Now we have a matching bonus that's called Fast Start, and this is specific to the first 30 days of that new agent getting started. So you recruit Tom goes out and gets his first funded client in his first 30 days. Instead of earning 25%, our Fast Start is going to double that, and you're going to make 50% of Tom's commission in his first 30 days, or actually just that first funding period. The promotion that we have is for the first 30 days, but the Fast Start applies to the first funding that new agent does in their first 30 days. Okay. If you're amped up, what is amped up? If you're amped, meaning you have had a personally funded client in the past 30 days, then that fast start bonus gets doubled and you would earn 100% match on what Tom makes. So if you help Tom make $600, you could essentially earn $600 yourself if you're amped up and Tom got that funded client in his first 30 days. Okay, so let's talk about the matching enroller bonus. Now, Tom went out and got that first client, right, on a $20,000 funding, got paid $600. But now Tom is amped up because he's had a funding in the past 30 days. Plus, now on his second client, let's say that second client also gets $20,000 funding. Now, because Tom is amped up, he's getting double commissions instead of 3%. He's going to get 6%. So he'll earn $1,200 on that second client. You're still going to make a 25% match. So 25% on the $1,200 is now $300 back paid up to you as the enroller. And if you're amped up as the enroller, you can actually earn double and earn 50% match on that for a $600 matching bonus on top of what Tom made on that $1,200. So it really pays to be engaged and amped up. The key to our comp plan is for you to stay active and to continuously bring on new clients, right? David talked today, and I'm going to touch on this in a few minutes, about building a significant income here. His goal is to have dozens of agents earning $250,000 a year off of their own personal fundings, not even talking about the overrides that we can earn on our team. So I want to touch on that in just a minute. But first, if you have not seen the replay from the Agent of the Month interview that I did with David Rutz last Friday, you can either find that in an email that I sent out, or if you're new and have already missed that email, then you can go to dacyoutube.com. Be sure to subscribe to the channel while you're there and hit the little notification button there so that you get notified of all new videos that get released on the DAC Agent channel. But that interview had a lot of information in it for you, some of the things that I do to be successful and just being that engaged, plugged in team leader that's making money here with DAC. I want that for every one of you. So pay attention and take notes when I'm sharing information with you, because I'm sharing from experience, I'm sharing from my heart, and I'm sharing because I want you to have success. All right. Now, one thing I want to point out on a promotion that we have going right now is our preferred client plan for working capital from $25,000 to $600,000. There are two different flyers to choose from. You have one with a male image and one with a female image. These flyers are available in the DAC Facebook group. Harlequin, do you know if these have been posted in the Agent Resource Center yet? If you don't know that answer, can you do a quick search and see if they're there so that we can point folks to these? The bottom right of this flyer is blank, where you can go in and print your information. You can go into some of the screen editors, PDF editors. There are free online editors that you can put your information in and have it as a digital flyer, or have it where you can print it out and have these to hand out to business owners and promote this promotion. I'm not going to go into detail on it. It's self-explanatory. It tells you what the benefits are here, what the offers are, and you don't have to worry about trying to determine whether your client would qualify or not. You just put it out there, promote it, and then once the client submits through David Allen Capital, not through Bank Breezy, but through the David Allen Capital business capital link on your website, then our internal team is going to take that client's information, gather all the documents, and they'll determine if they're a good fit for this working capital promotion for preferred clients. Okay, so really keeping it simple by letting them do the work. Now, I just pulled this out of the Facebook group a little bit ago, actually maybe 40 minutes ago, because this was posted 17 minutes before I pulled it down. Shantae Roddy, who was our Agent of the Month last month. By the way, if you haven't seen her interview, you need to go watch that. She really gave a lot of good information on social media and her strategies to building a business with Facebook groups and using social media, talking with business owners, right? but she posted this earlier, said, good evening, just sharing. Are you picking up what I'm putting down here? Bank Breezy, the only way for a business doing under $10,000 a month in sales to get instant approval, same day funding. She just funded her third client in 3 days. So she's funding a client a day on average, promoting Bank Breezy. And we'll break that down in a minute, and we'll talk about how that adds up to income with the average funding. So let's get into that. We're going to talk about the game plan, and we're going to break down how you can make $100,000 a year on personal sales with DAC. I said David mentioned 250,000, but he said we're going to have a couple of different levels to achieve or to shoot for. That first level is going to be where you're earning $100,000 a year on your personal clients, which is it's $8,333 a month if you do the math on it. But we're going to keep it in round numbers and shoot for $10,000 a month as we do some examples here on our game plan. So where is the game plan? And the document that I'm going to pull down here is in the Agent Resource Center. You can go under miscellaneous team building tools, and there's a game plan document. It's a game plan PDF under number 4 there. You can click on that, open it up, print it out, save it on your computer, but most importantly, understand how the math works. So let's go through that. Okay, so for business funding, the immediate income worksheet. To make the most money in DAC, you're going to do a combination of things. One, you're going to get personal clients, because you having activity and getting personal clients is really what's going to drive your personal income quickly, right? Plus, you having personal clients is what is going to be required to earn overrides on your team outside of this fourth quarter recruiting incentive where you can earn on a new agent's first 30 days, right? Without you having clients, you can do that, but you need to get in the mindset of being busy, creating client base on your own and generating that personal income. The majority of your income is probably going to come for the first couple of years. The majority of your income is going to come from your own personal efforts, even if you're building a team early. You might get lucky and recruit someone that's really getting after it, and you keep enough going so that you have your qualification as engaged or amped up to earn overrides on the team. But most of your income the first couple of years will be from personal efforts. And then as your team is growing and duplicating over the next few years, you'll get to a point where the majority of your income will start coming from team overrides. But you got to have that starting point first. And let's go through the document here to do the math on what the numbers are. So if you look at the game plan document, the average Bank Breezy client is $8,400. Okay. After you get that first client at 3%, you're going to be making a minimum of 6% forward on every funded deal, as long as you have a new client every 30 days. So when we say every 30 days, that's one client every 30 days. You should be shooting for a client a day or a minimum of a client a week in this process. And I shared the post that Shantae made where she's showing that she's getting a client a day. So let's do the math on that. If it's $8,400 is the average funding, Shantae is a DAC 4, okay? And as a DAC 4, she's earning 6% on her personal funding, plus she's earning an extra 30% bonus on top of that 6%. If you don't understand that, you can go watch the compensation video. But all in all, when you add up her personal commission plus the matching bonus that she makes on her own commission on her leadership override, she's making 7.8% of every funded deal. So if the average Bank Breezy client, is $8,400 times 7.8%, each one of those clients is worth an average of $655 to Shantae in that example that she just gave. So let's say that she gets a client a day, 5 days a week, 4 weeks in the month for 20 clients a month, right? $655 times 20, that would be $13,104 in income. Just if it's that average, that $8,400. But do you think that If she had 20 clients over the course of a month, that all of them are going to be 84. There are going to be some that are below that, but there are going to be some that are going to be way over that, because when we promote Bank Breezy, it leads to larger fundings, right? So how do you get 20 clients in a month or a funding a day? It's all about promotion. It's all about promotion and talking to people and getting the word out that you're in the funding space. Shantae is promoting on social media. Everywhere you turn, she's got something out there. She's promoting what she does on her YouTube channel. She has some avenues that the average person probably doesn't have, but that doesn't mean that you can't get to that point. What if you got a funding a week to start with? All right. Or what if you got a funding every 2 weeks to start with? Would an extra $300, $400, $500, $600 make a big impact in your current situation? When you look at direct selling as a whole and look at our economy as a whole, the average household, if they had an extra $500 a month, it would change their financial circumstances. So with that said, one funding a month for you could be a make or break deal in your financial future. Now, I don't know specifically what yours is, but just on an average, right? So think about that. Now let's take a look at the rest of this document. Average Bank Breezy client is worth $8,400. The average DAC client, when we get to the larger fundings, is worth $40,000. So remember, if you were on here last week when I talked about where do you send them? Do you send them to Bank Breezy or do you send them to David Allen Capital? And remember, I told you that the defining point for me to determine if they're going to Bank Breezy or if they're going to David Allen Capital is if I can confirm beyond a shadow of a doubt that they're doing at least $15,000 a month minimum for the past 3 months. And I clarify that by saying, okay, if you look at July, August, and September, which is our past 3 months that are completed months with bank statements, out of those past 3 months, what is the lowest dollar amount of any of those 3 months? And if you ask them, they'll tell you, right? And if it's below 15,000, I'm sending them to Bank Breezy. But if that lowest month out of the past 3 is at least 15 or more, then I'm sending them over to David Allen Capital. Now, I know the David Allen Capital page says if you're doing 20,000 a month or more, that's what they're promoting, trying to keep people in that conversation. But again, this goes back to us actually talking to a client, not doing cold marketing and promoting a page that people are going to go through and just randomly test. This is after having a conversation with a client. If they're doing 15,000 a month, send them to Bank Breezy, right? Because at Bank Breezy, not Bank Breezy, David Allen Capital. If they go to David Allen Capital, they're going to be eligible to receive 1 to 2 times what their monthly revenue is, right? 100 to 200% of their monthly revenue. So if they're doing 15,000, then they could potentially qualify for 15 to 30,000 in funding. But if you send that same client over to Bank Breezy, they're only going to get quoted about 75% of what their revenue is. So you have to talk the client through that. You don't have to know the whole process, but you need to learn the product and be an expert on the basics of the product. Our funding and underwriting team is going to take care of all the details. You just need to know, have enough information about our product so you know which way to point them. So if you start having those clients that are in that $40,000 range, what if you get a $40,000 client? Do the math on that. We'll take Shantae as an example, 7.8%. A $40,000 client is going to pay her $3,120 as a DAC 4. Okay. Now I'm using DAC 4 because DAC 4 is the highest level in the comp plan that you can get to on your own efforts without having to have team structure and a team of agents that are producing. So every one of you on here tonight have the ability to get to that DAC 4 7.8% commission on your own personal funded clients. Okay. All right. So that's the top 2 lines I want to cover on there. But let's say the desired weekly income. If we're taking it to, I said 10,000 a month. Okay. 10,000 a month times 12 is 120,000 divided by 52 weeks, right? That would bring our income to 2307, right? So if our desired weekly income is 2307, then you want to divide that by the $500, which is the average commission, but 8,400, yeah, let's say 500. So 2307 divided by 500 is going to be 4.62 clients. So $10,000 a week is a client a day, right? Getting started. And then as you move through those ranks, you won't have to have a client a day. But what would you be willing to do? How many people would you be willing to talk to? How many text messages would you be willing to send? How many emails would you be willing to send and do the follow-ups on to be able to make $10,000 a month from the comfort of your own home, right? And think about this, making $10,000 with DAC versus making $10,000 in a traditional job, you're almost going to double the amount of cash that you have, right? Because I need to do a training on this. When you are a independent contractor or 1099 agent like we are, you get 100% of that money up front rather than the net amount that's after taxes like you do as an employee, right? So as an employee, if you made $10,000, you're probably going to see about 7,000 of it in a check, your net take-home pay, maybe less if you've got healthcare coming out. But with DAC, if you make 10,000, you take 10,000 home, and then you get to take that money and use deductions, do smart investments with it throughout the year, and then set aside money to pay your taxes. But after I pay taxes as a business owner, from my gross income to my net taxable income, my net income that I pay taxes on is probably about 25% of what that gross actual income was by the time I take advantage of all the deductions that are available to me. So lots of benefits of being a business owner and being able to write off things like your cell phone, your internet, a portion of your office space, mileage on your car when you're going to business functions, business appointments, going to hand out drop cards, going to meet and greet with business owners, lots of deductions there that add up quickly so that you get to keep more of that money that comes into your pocket. Okay, so a client a day on Bank Breezy, total number of clients. If you need a client a day, you want to do the math on this. To have a funded client, you need to double that. So a funded client is going to come after having 2 clients that complete the whole process and get approved in the application process. So you're going to have to double up on the work. And then how are you going to accomplish this level each week? I talked about that Friday on being dedicated and being consistent on activity. It's a matter of just following the training that we have here in place in the Agent Resource Center. This business is not hard. It's a really simple business, but it requires you taking action with the plan that has been laid out. We've got all these different reach out methods. We've got different strategies. You just pick the one that resonates with you and pick a niche market to target that resonates with you, right? Especially if you have a background in a particular industry, why not market to that industry that you're already familiar with, right? That way, you know the language of that industry, but make sure it's an industry that fits with our funding program and is going to be a good niche for you to target. But it's a matter of you just taking action and then putting things in place, because I want you guys to be hitting that $100,000 a month, a year in income, or $10,000 a month in income. And I want more people on my team to be in that $250,000 a year income range than anybody else in DAC. And there's no reason why I can't have the biggest team with the biggest income earners, period, because we've already got a great start. We've got a quality group of leaders in this organization. We're bringing on quality people like yourself. It's just a matter of digging in and going to work and getting the work done that's necessary. So I'm going to get off of screen share. I think that was my last slide. Yes, get back here face to face on video. And I want to open up and see who might have some questions tonight, questions, comments, feedback, whatever's on your mind. Open up for that tonight. Hey, Brian, I see you made it through our waiting room. Glad to see you tonight. Good to have you with us.
Yeah,
All right,
Ellen,
anybody got questions? Raise your hand here. Hey, Harlequin.
yeah, just to let you know, I looked and I did not see those flyers in the Agent Resource Center. Now, I was looking quickly because I was still admitting people in. So I could have missed it, but I did not see it in there.
Okay, so
It is
the Facebook
Facebook.
group. Yeah, okay. I'm going to make a note to see if we can't get those posted in the Agent Resource Center too. All right. We've had some new people get new fundings over the past week. Lots of good things happening. Do we have some questions or comments there in the chat while we're waiting to see if anybody wants to raise their hands?
Yeah, Mike just asked, he says, I noticed anyone going to our page has access to the Agent Resource Center. Why do non-agents have access to this page?
That's a good question, and one that has been asked more than once. So what happened was when I first became an agent, you had to have a passcode to get into the Agent Resource Center, and it really became a roadblock for or a traffic jam, I should say, for our support team, because people would email support asking for the password to get into the Agent Resource Center. So instead of having it password protected, David decided to just leave it open and have it accessible there. So that's the reason why it's not a secure link on the site. But good observation. All right. Anybody questions, comments, feedback? Is this going to be the shortest Zoom that we've ever done? Harlequin, did I miss anything that we had talked about? Oh, I see some hands going up now. Okay. I've got Pam Simpson. I'm going to ask Pam to unmute. Hey, Pam, how are you tonight?
I'm doing well. Give me 1 second. I need to pull over because I've been listening. I'm driving.
Okay.
And can you hear me okay?
I sure can. Yeah.
Perfect. I love everything you do as far as training and keeping us all in the loop and stuff. I really do, because it continues to keep me motivated.
Awesome.
One maybe discrepancy, not a long time ago, a few weeks ago, you were telling somebody who had said they had just been laid off or lost a job, and you'd said, don't count on this stuff for, get another real job before you start counting on this for income, which it's more my response to that matters versus, I mean, it's not a criticism, because I've been going back and forth. I stopped doing DAC stuff because I don't have another job and I don't know how long it'll take me to get a client. I don't need a ton of money. So that in itself is my own dilemma. Should I, shouldn't I, blah, blah, blah. So I wasn't quite sure your intention behind that comment, if you remember saying that even, do you? Because I have a second question that matters more.
I do, and thank you for saying that. I remember that discussion specifically, and I guess the takeaway, and thank you for asking that. The takeaway on that, Pam, is if you're working, don't quit a full-time job that gives you a steady income to start doing DAC full-time. There is a full-time income potential here, okay? But when I say keep that full-time job, or if you don't have a full-time job, I encourage you to find one so that you have a steady income stream coming in as you're building and as you're learning the DAC process. You may get lucky and you may get some fundings right off the bat that'll start fueling your enthusiasm, your belief level, and your confidence level, right? And also your bank account. But it may take you a while. The reason I say I want you to have a solid income is because when people are stressed for money, that
Yeah.
stress starts doing strange things to us, right?
And that comes through when and if people are talking to people. They're like, you know, we
Exactly.
got to get a sale. And this is not a sale. This is just letting people know we exist, and so they can come to us. It's not a sale. And I don't ever want to come across that way, because I don't see myself as a salesperson.
Mhm.
So, and I think that helps clarify, because I even have an interview tomorrow. But it's like, okay, yes, there's much, much better, bigger income. And my whole goal in life is to get away from freaking hourly wages. There's just so much else and better potential out there.
Mhm.
And because it's new to me, I probably should, this is me answering my own question, I should go ahead and keep looking for the full-time, because the stress level will be gone completely. I like that.
Yeah, and
But
that's
that's not
it.
the most important question. The most important question is, I want to figure out, or maybe practice or something, all the different kinds of conversations people have had with business owners, as well as how to get to them. You walk into a lot of places and you don't get, the owner's not the one at the counter. It's
Right.
other people. And how does one, those kinds of approaches, so that I'm more comfortable? Because sure, I can go in, and I have, and you know, left a card with whoever was at the counter and asked them to please get this over to the owner and have them give me a call. But you don't know that it goes anywhere.
Yeah.
So you know, it's all kinds of strange. And it's like, I just want more comfort level or training other than the math, because I don't really care. If I'm getting some clients right now, I'd be thrilled to get them. I don't care if it's only 3% for that matter.
Mhm.
And I don't think I have my video on, do I? No, I
No,
don't.
you don't.
Because I was just taking my glass off. Anyway, is there some kind of training that's not the math, all about approaching customers, or you know, all the different reasons people have needed the because I want to go in and say, hey, you know, I don't know for sure how and what you would need for your for your funding, but I'm very well aware it's so hard with small business owners, and a lot of times you can't get the bank approvals and stuff like that. I just want you to know we exist, you know, that kind of conversation.
Mhm.
But I want to throw out a couple ideas to help them start thinking too, as well as, how did I get past the person at the counter? That's the kind of one I wonder, is there some sort of just good training and ideas and that kind of thing that exists somewhere that I haven't found yet? Because
Yeah,
the
there.
numbers they matter for sure, but that's not the most important roadblock for me right now. It's like, okay, what am I not saying? What could I say better? All that stuff. Does that make any
Right,
sense?
right. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And great questions. And obviously, you don't have a fear of talking to people. That comes across very genuinely tonight with your questions on
Oh, good.
Zoom. So, one,
Thank you.
there are different trainings in our Vimeo channel where there are specific trainings on going and doing the introduction, reading the scripts that are there,
Yeah, and I have
the
them, and
meet
they're
and greet
so
scripts.
simple. They're so
Yeah.
simple. I love that. This is
So
like,
the
no,
best,
Pam, this is easy. But for some reason, it isn't easy for me, and I don't know why.
yeah, well, the main thing that you can do, you can watch all the trainings that you want, but the main thing that you can do is to start implementing that and having those uncomfortable conversations that aren't easy for you, but the more conversations you have, the easier it gets, and you really start getting a groove or a rhythm in your own words and what you say. I know
That
I
makes
say
sense.
something different just about every time because I'm listening and I'm putting myself in that business owner's shoes. And
Exactly.
when I first hear what their industry is, my mind immediately goes to what that industry involves, right? If they're in construction, I'm thinking, okay, are you doing residential or commercial work? You know, I'm just immediately going to that industry if I know anything about it. But the conversation is still the same. You're just meeting, greeting, and informing, introducing yourself. And I did this on the phone with an agent a few days ago on the what they're saying when they go in the door. And the main thing is you want to get that business owner's attention, right? If you walk in the door and the business owner is there, you go in and you walk up to the counter and you ask, hey, is the owner in? And if they are, they'll call them to the front for you. If they're not, or if they're in the back and saying, no, they're not available right now, say, no worries. I just wanted to drop by and leave some information behind, introduce myself. My name is Pam and I'm in business finance. I wanted to introduce myself and leave this information today. If you guys could ever use my assistance, my contact information is right here at the bottom of the card. The front and back of the card tell a little bit more about what we do. If you'll make sure the owner gets this, that would be great. I'd love to help you if I ever can. And that's really all you're doing on the meet, greet, and inform, but using your postcards as a little billboard to point and talk to as you're there and leaving that behind. But there's no specific training that's going to get you beyond that point until you start having more of those conversations. Now, I was just looking yesterday, Pam, of the hundreds of applications that I've had either started or completed for Bank Breezy and funding applications and customer finance and payment processing. And out of all those applications, that's just a drop in the bucket to the number of business owners that I've actually talked to about what we do. So every conversation gets a little bit easier and a little bit easier, like my example of getting the motorcycle off the trailer that I covered last week in my agent interview.
I loved it.
Yeah, thanks. But you know,
in fact, I've repeated that story a couple times when I've been talking about people and getting over our fear, and it was perfect timing for me.
Yeah, well, good. I mean, that's really all it is taking those first few steps, making yourself
uncomfortable first, and don't care that I'm uncomfortable or that I flub up whatever I'm saying. Don't care, just keep doing it.
Yep, absolutely.
Really
keep doing it, and you'll figure out, you know, when I took the motorcycle off the trailer and was riding in the neighborhood, I would make a turn and I'd realize I turned a little too tight, or I could feel too much weight, and I had to shift my plan the next turn and get better and get better and get better until suddenly it was just a fluid movement. And the same thing with the conversations here. It becomes a fluid conversation the more you talk, because the knowledge that you have in your mind about our business and about our services, it's easier to just retrieve that information in a smooth conversation the more you have those conversations. So just keep doing it more and more and more, and it'll come to you. The training's not going to help you any more than you doing it yourself. So thank you for your questions and comments, though.
Well, no, and I appreciate everything too. And there's one last side thing, if I may.
Okay.
I think about, there's so many things that I've done and it's all me by myself. It's not like I have a family to help or all these other things. And I get tired of doing things all by myself. Is there, and you don't have to answer this now, but put a thought into it. I want to run some sort of ad for other agents, but in a different way. And it would be like, you know, something along the lines of, do you love helping business owners? I need help, you know, getting business owners funding and things, but I need help with people. I'm trying to figure out how to say that. Is I want help doing what I'm doing versus just having them be an agent, and they'll know, of course, they'll get money too if they talk to me. But it's like, I wonder if there's another kind of approach to not, do you just love money? Because there's more to this. You have to love to help business owners. It's not just about how much money we can make, because we won't make a dime if we don't love helping business owners. So
that's true.
You see where what I'm tossing around? It's like,
I do. And it's
you
all
come up with a statement sometime pops in your head, not in the middle of the night, but you know, throw it out there for us.
It's all in the message. You know, we've had different messaging in our recruiting ads, but the message
I want somebody who's local and knows and loves local business owners, because I still don't know people in this little town.
So if you're wanting other people to do things with, recruit local. You just said it yourself. Recruit local and look for sharp people in your local community. If you're going to do any advertising at all, just do it in your city, in your local community, and then create that core group of people. Some of the most fun that I've ever had in direct selling and network marketing space was because it was a local community. We got together. Harlequin just talked about me running a training center when we first met. And that was our meeting spot on a weekly basis, multiple times a week. Agents could come in there. We could sit and do calls together, or could go out and meet with clients from there, make it a meeting point. So it's great to have those local meetings, but you don't need a training center to do that. You start at your local coffee shop or the WeWork space or wherever you are. You make your own space and just start branching out from there. But that local business team building is a lot of fun, and it gives you a partner to go run and do that two-on-one presentation with the drop cards.
Get a list of business owners. Each of us go out to a few of them, get back together, say how it went, and then just,
absolutely.
Have somebody else to talk to about whatever it is I'm doing.
Yeah,
So I guess,
absolutely.
okay. So I just have to come up with a creative way to advertise for another partner, or I just don't know for sure. I don't want to get into hot water by creating anything new. You're
not going to create anything that's wrong. As long as you're not misstating something, and as long as it doesn't have the company name on it, it directs them over to the website after you've given them the message that entices them to go look to see what the opportunity is. You won't get in trouble with that. So it's all good. And we can talk offline on that too, Pam. I've got 5 other people that have their hands up. So
yes,
let me get to some of these other questions, okay?
And again, thank you so much.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. And thank you for your questions and comments and spurring that conversation tonight. Good stuff. All right, I've got Caesar. I'm going to ask you to unmute. What do you have tonight, Caesar?
Hello, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Hello, everyone. I'm new to the team. I just signed up a week ago.
Welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate. I went through like pretty much every email you've sent out, and I was wondering there was a couple of things I wondered real quick. What areas do we cover as far as capital? Only the United States, or United States, Puerto Rico, and Canada?
Yep. Nope. Continental U.S.
Only the United States. Okay.
Continental U.S. Yes.
Okay. And then lastly, I just wanted to ask, what kind of automation do you use for your emails and maybe your CRMs? I was just wondering if if you use a certain customer relations manager.
I do not, and that's a great question. I'm using spreadsheets. I'm using a Google spreadsheet. I do have a CRM that I'm testing, but it's a paid program. So until I have a lot of success with that, I never promote something to the team until I've used something. The emailer that I use for my team emails, there is a free platform there that you guys can use. And I forget how many leads you can put in, but you can use it kind of it's not built as a contact manager, but it allows you to add people and create lists in that system where you can kind of manage a list with their name, their email. You can send messages from it, and that is free. I can send that out in the replay link that I send in the email tonight. I'll be glad to do that, because I think there's a link on there that gives you, there's a referral code, and I know it's free. I'll have to go back. They just sent that program out to me, so I'll send that out with the get response, if that helps you.
Oh, it's with Get Response? What?
Get Response, yeah, but it's an affiliate link, because they have an affiliate program. So I'll send you the affiliate link that gives you the free version of it. And there's a lot of tools that are built in on that free platform. They didn't used to have that. They used to have a 30-day free trial, and then you had to upgrade and pay. But now they've got a free program that is past the 30-day free trial. So I'll send that out.
Okay, you use that as a not only email, but also you kind of use it as like a CRM
You
sort of like?
can. I'm using a different CRM as far as a contact manager goes, but I've been using Google spreadsheets forever and using Gmail. The one thing that I use on Gmail that's very helpful is templates. If you use a Gmail account, they have a tool that you have to turn on inside of Gmail, but it's called templates, templates. And if you don't know how to use them, you can Google it and there'll be a video taking you through it. Harlequin and I were talking about this and she started using templates and she's like, oh my gosh, this has just changed the way I communicate, because you can pre-write an email with that template, hit from a drop down, it'll automatically insert it into the body of the email for you. Same thing with the get response. It gives you the ability to have pre-written messages or templates in there that you can load and send it out either to one person or to multiple people. So the multiple emails is the great part of that. Being able to do a follow-up and a newsletter to the contacts that you're reaching out to. So I'll definitely get that out. Thank you for that question. Did you have anything else tonight, Caesar?
No, that's it for now.
Okay,
Appreciate.
awesome. Yeah, glad you're here. Glad you're here. One weekend and you're on the Zooms and have been reading emails. I love it.
Thank you.
Being a good student. I appreciate that. Hey, Grace, how are you doing tonight?
Good. How are you, Ellen?
I'm great. Thank you.
I wanted to know if there are any ways that I can look into the back end of the payment processing system short of applying, so that I might be able to put together like a little demo video of what it looks like on the back end. Or if I'm going to approach a nonprofit, they might have questions about, a system that I can take donations and have the donor pay for the processing fee. That's really interesting. Can you send me more information? If I could like make a little demo video or have more information about what that would look like for a nonprofit, would you know how I might be able to get that?
Yeah, actually, our contact person with our payment processing is Jacob Imhoff. Have you seen him in the DAC agents group?
No. Okay.
Write this down. I'm going to give you his email. He's great. I have done some communication back and forth with him. It's Jacob Imhoff, IMHOFF, and his email is jacob@enablefinancing.com. If you'll send him an email with kind of an overview of what you're looking for, he'll send you any resources that he has. He's great to work with.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
Okay. Yeah, you're welcome. And good question. Thank you much. All right, I have Penny. I'm going to ask you to unmute.
Hey, how you
Hey,
doing?
Penny, how are you?
All right. You grew
All
up
right.
on farm, huh?
And on camera, I like it. Yeah, you got all of those lettuces in the background.
Barefoot
Very cool.
gardening instructor. I'm a daughter of a farm boy and you're a farm girl, huh?
Yeah, absolutely. I
Very
love
cool.
it.
I'm here in Florida, grew up in Mississippi. So
Nice.
yeah, I'm glad to be here. Amanda Bridges gave me an invitation. So here I am. I'm brand new.
Awesome.
Just checking it out, see what you're all about. I didn't find a whole lot of background information. Looked for you on BBB, didn't find you. Can you tell me more about the company and its background?
Yeah, so you're not going to find us on Better Business Bureau. For those of you that are listening and have had that question or had that thought before, to get listed on Better Business Bureau, you have to pay for that. And David has just chosen not to do that. We're small operation, family-owned business. We're 6 years old, and that's not one of the steps that he has opted to take right now. Because if you're listed with the Better Business Bureau, you've got to be able to respond to people. Otherwise, your rating starts dropping quickly. So that might be something that gets added in the future as we grow and expand to a larger in-house team. But right now, we're not subscribed to Better Business Bureau. As far as finding out and learning more about who we are, have you had a chance to watch a business presentation on the website?
No, I haven't.
No. All right. Well, that's really going to be where your best information is. There's one there by our company founder. You can go over to the partner page and watch a short presentation, an 8-minute presentation by our company founder, David Rutz. He
I
gives
saw
an
that.
overview of what our opportunity is about. If you like that, then there's a longer video presentation under that, where I think that was recorded back in maybe June, where he did that. Or if you want, you can go over to dacyoutube.com
Mhm.
and go back and look for the Tuesday night presentation that I did at the beginning of October. I actually did the corporate presentation there, and that replay is available on the website. I've had a lot of comments on it because it's the most recent full business presentation that's been done since the one
Okay,
that's
and
on the
Amanda
website is
sent
a
me
little bit
that link
older. So
for your.
that'd be a great overview for you. And we tell the company history. We talk about, the starting points, how we've partnered with longevity, the whole background, why funding is such a big opportunity being in this business space, the other
Mhm.
services that we market, talk about how you get paid. And then we break it down in the 4 steps of getting started at the very end of that video. So glad to have you here tonight, Penny.
Well, thank you. I was interested to hear Pam talking about approaching people. And
Yeah.
I wondered, because I have a feeling, I mean, having grown up in a small business, my dad was a pharmacist, after his farm boy experience. And so I wanted to say that I understand a small business, and I understand that, but I do also know that I'm an unknown. I have no education in this. So I would be presenting this and they would be going to my website to look at the information, correct?
Correct.
So
Yeah.
Amanda also gave me the link to your presentation. So I'll go and look at that. I also saw the 8-minute presentation,
Awesome.
but I also want to know if there's going to be, again, the history of the company, some background on that available for small business owners that follow my link.
Not necessarily the history of the company. We don't have that request from business owners a lot. Sometimes they do ask. It's really simple in a nutshell. We're one of the largest funding platforms in North America. We really are. DAC has grown to that. We're a little over 6 years old. The history is phenomenal. We're taking those baby steps to grow to where we are, but that's not a question we get a lot. But yes, you're just going to be a referral agent. Okay. You're going to be a referral agent. You learn the basics, and there's more training than you would ever need in the resource center, and you're getting started, and the training that I send out too. Just learn the basics of each product and then refer people over to the website. They go fill out a form, and then our internal experts take your client from there. You just need to be an expert on the overview of the product, and in one day you would be able to have all the information you need about everything that we do. If you studied in one day, you'd get it all down. So it's not hard.
Right. That's great. Yeah.
A lot of people make it harder.
Fees and rates and things like that. But I
Yeah,
have
you don't need to
reviews
know all
online
that
said
really.
that those aren't available. So I didn't know.
Yeah, so we've got cheat sheets, a PDF that has a side-by-side on the rates for Bank Breezy, DAC funding, the different funding platforms. So we've got a lot of tools available for you. Absolutely.
Thank you so much. I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
you're welcome. Glad you're here.
Thank you.
And I hope you decide to join us. If so, then we'll be doing these weekly. And I didn't mention earlier, on November the 20th, we're going to be doing a Super Saturday live training. We're going to be doing that via Zoom. David will be leading it, but there'll be several different trainers, leaders like myself that'll be doing different parts of that training. So that's going to be a big day for us on the 20th. We'll start at 10 a.m. that day, November the 20th, and probably go till about 5 maybe by the time we do Q&A sessions at the end, and take some breaks along the way too. So, all right. Well, thank you, Penny. I look forward to seeing more of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ellen. Thanks, Amanda.
Yeah, thanks for inviting her, Amanda. All right, I've got Joseph, and I'm going to ask you to unmute. Hey, Joseph.
Hello there. How are we doing this evening?
Doing great. How are you doing? I like it. Your blue shirt is kind of like a DAC blue. It looks good.
Oh, yeah. This one's a Veterans Relief Project blue.
Yeah,
and,
yeah, but that's a good color, blue.
Absolutely. Hey, I've been listening, and I kind of felt like I heard a little discouragement. So I wanted to touch on a couple things that somebody said. I have fear and fear stands for false evidence appearing real. So don't be afraid to go and talk to people, because you never know who's the one who needs what you have. I've signed up about a month and a half ago. I got started about 2 weeks ago, just contacting businesses. I haven't gotten anyone to go to the page or look for funding, but that doesn't mean they won't. So just keep going, and that your fear will leave the more you get comfortable with what you're saying. And I tell people, never stop. This is a product, and I've been in the lending business for a long time. This is a product that doesn't exist. The Bank Breezy product does not exist. And the first Zoom I came to, David touched on that. And the more I looked back into my old contacts, the more I saw that it doesn't exist. So don't be afraid to get out there and talk to people. Penny was just talking about no one knows who you are. Well, that's one of the best things that could happen, because nobody knows who you are until you get out there and start talking to them. And the more you talk, the more your name will get around. And eventually, like with me, I'm waiting for that first person to apply. They will. They just will. So don't be afraid to talk to people, because they don't know who you are, because what we're trying to do is let people know who we are and let them know that we're here to help them out. The other thing, real quick, was there's a couple CRMs that are free. Outlook is one, the one that you've been using. MailChimp also has a free service for so many emails or so many contacts a month. And then after that, then you have to start paying for it. The thing I like about MailChimp is a lot of these, been reading all of the emails and letters and things like that that have been produced, and I pick stuff out of there, and I can set up an autoresponder. So once they get in there, they'll get 5 emails in the course of 2 weeks. So it kind of burns it in their brain. But there's lots of free tools out there. I believe in starting a business from scratch. That means all you have is a little flour, a little sugar, maybe some baking powder or baking soda, and you just mix up those biscuits. And from there, everything will work out for you.
Right, exactly. Well, great comments there, Joseph. And that reminded me, Zoho also has a free CRM tool, and they're rated really, really highly. Zoho, ZOHO, if you're looking for that. That's one of the ones that was on the top of my list on free after doing a lot of research on it before I landed on the one I'm using. But yeah, great words of encouragement on fear being evidence appearing real, false evidence appearing real. I had forgotten that acronym from years ago, but that is so true. Great words of encouragement. Thanks for sharing your experience in the financial space. And yes, I want to touch on what you said about Bank Breezy and us being the only one that product doesn't exist. You're going to find other companies that advertise same-day funding, right? And they may have a means of doing that. Some will, but they do not have a fully automated platform. That is a proprietary platform that we have with Bank Breezy. It was built for DAC, and nobody else has what we have, to where we can literally have thousands of applications a day coming through. And because of the automation of that platform, it doesn't get the system bogged down, right? So in fact, that Wade mentioned today on the thousands of apps that are coming in, he said Friday, we had a funding that got, or a client that got funded that had applied several thousand applications ago. He tracks them by the number on the application, and he said it was weeks ago when that client actually applied, and had another one today that got funded that had applied weeks ago. So our system, the team there with Bank Breezy and our partners at Biddy Advance, they have systems in place that are following up with the client. I know I got a text message the other day where I had gone in and started the application with my business just to see what that first step looked like. And I get those follow-up emails and I get the follow-up text messages. Hey, this is Melanie with Biddy Advance. Your funds are waiting. Just click this link to complete the application. So it's there for the taking. And you're exactly right, Joseph. It's not a matter of when they apply, or not now, but when, because they will somewhere. As long as you don't stop getting the word out about what we're doing, it's a matter of time and they will come around. But you can't stop spreading the word, right? You got to keep
That's
going,
right.
keep taking that message forward. And then as you do that, you're filling the funnel. You'll start having one application come in and another application and another. I get those on a regular basis because I've had conversations over and over, day after day after day, for the 3+ years that I've been here. So I see a regular influx of applications coming in through my email, but it's those seeds that I planted a long time ago in most cases that are just now popping in and starting to sprout. So thank you for that and sharing tonight. Good to see you on camera in your blue. And are you a veteran?
Also, I am.
Thank you for
I
your
am.
service.
Appreciate that.
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Was that all your questions?
Yeah, that's all I got.
Okay, awesome. I'm going to go over to Ronnie and ask you to unmute. What do you have for us tonight, Ronnie?
Can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, thanks to Orlando for inviting me and telling me a little bit about it. I think we talked Friday, and then Friday night or Saturday morning about 1, I signed up and started learning something new. I've been getting your emails, so thank you. But one question I had is there a different way to fund nonprofits rather than business, or is it the same concept or the same link and all that stuff?
Thank you for your question. We really don't fund nonprofits. That's
Okay.
that's one niche that we really don't fund in. Yeah.
Okay. All right, but that's why I wanted, because I got some businesses that they're almost both sided like that concept. And that's why I was wondering if this does anything on that rim as well.
Yeah, that's really not a good fit for us. There might be an exception occasionally, but in general, we just say we don't fund nonprofits. So
Okay.
don't make that an area to target. But I love your Ronnie the connector. We were talking about connectors last week, and I was telling everybody, as you're recruiting, recruit up, because busy people that are already successful or already in the B2B space are busy and they're great connectors, right? So
Well,
I love that message.
I appreciate that. And I'll tell you one thing I wouldn't share. Keep in mind, we're talking about people's finances. Now you stop when somebody talks about your finance, nobody wants to share exactly where we're at yet. They're going to think about it in quiet before they make a move. And so if you get somebody you share the first time and they sign up right then, I'd be hesitant, because most of the people are going to sit and think about it. So don't get discouraged if they're taking time. That's just, nobody wants to admit that we're broke. Nobody wants to admit that we're hurting. And so keep that in mind, because I mean, that's what a lot of people, when you're talking to finances, we sort of back up, and that's just the way everybody does. So don't be discouraged, but keep in mind, if you got something that can help somebody, it's our job to share it. So I'm excited about it. I'm learning a lot more and doing the videos. So glad to be here and hope to help anybody any way we can help.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Glad to have you here, Ronnie. And your comments were spot on, because that conversation about finances, that's exactly right. So back to questions earlier on doing the drop cards, right? When you go in, you may be talking to a business owner and they act very disinterested when you talk to them and tell them what you do. And they may act like they don't have the time of day, but deep in their heart, they may be going, thank you, God, for sending this person in my door right now. And they may be the one that quietly later, after you walk out, they're reading it and pulling up the website and getting ready to fill out the application because they're in desperate need. So you never know. Good comments. Thank you. All right, I have Roxana with your hand up. Hello, how are you?
Hi, can you hear me?
I can. Good to see you. How
Awesome.
are you?
I haven't used Zoom on this computer before, so I was like, well, make sure you can hear me. I want to tell you, I'm really happy to be here. I am new and I just joined on Friday. And so I think it was Friday at close to 5 o'clock or something. And I realized afterwards, I like, wait a minute, now there's no business. I mean, business days are done and I'm signed up. So I said, I'm going to spend the weekend doing my homework. So I got the emails that you sent. I watched all the videos, went through, and I have a whole stack of documents printed out, creating me a book, a folder and things with information, studying the details of our offerings and trying to make a game plan over the weekend, my own kind of game plan.
Right.
And I just wanted to share a little bit of that. And I do have a question, but I just
Okay.
wanted to introduce myself a little bit. I live in Central Florida and I have a nursing background. I have been a nurse for almost 30 years. And I also have a background in teaching and also real estate. So I know it's a broad spectrum there. I do not work in any of those fields currently anymore. I still hold my nursing license, but I take care of my son full time. He was in a motorcycle accident and he has a traumatic brain injury. So because of that, I need to work from home. And it's very, very important that I be able to do that to bring in income for us. And he has many needs, as you can imagine, and he is doing a lot better, but he has goals too. So we need a lot of rehab equipment and things that we need to get.
wow.
And I'm focused on that for him. And so in my plans, my reason why obviously is my son. And so as I'm making my plans, I did all the watching the videos and reading and studying over the weekend. And where I'm at currently is I'm working on domains, looking at researching domains as you were talking about. And I can see the strategy there of how that by following your links and seeing how everything works, how it links right over to that without having to show a long address with a code at the end. It seems more professional
Sure.
to a business or even to somebody wanting to get involved. It seems more professional. So I'm looking at domains. I'm wanting to create a Facebook page. I'm looking at joining several Facebook groups that are targeted to an audience that would be target clients that I might be looking for. And I want to be able to go join them, not to spam, but to participate in that group, start making posts so people can see your name and see what you're doing. So maybe eventually people will start asking questions about what you're doing if, they see you doing that. Also, I'm working on creating a warm market list from my Facebook followings. I'm working on that, and I did print out the memory jogger. That's a big help. And I do have goals to start making calls tomorrow, either tomorrow or Wednesday. And I figure, I know that I'm not going to do it perfect. I will not do it perfect. But if I just put that first foot or first hand on the phone and just do it and know that I'm going to mess up, but I'm going to start getting more confident and I'm going to start doing it better, but I won't get there until I start. So I have to do that. I have to make myself pick up the phone, no matter how you got the jitters, because it's something a little different. But I plan on doing that. Also placing ads. I want to place ads to grow a team. And one of the things that I did have a really important question about, because I have a lot of connections in the real estate industry, not just with realtors, but also with real estate investors. Investors that don't just dabble in it as a hobby, but they actually have legitimate businesses and they run it as a business. Is that fall into our criteria at all for either one? Because I know that a lot of them, I know we're not funding real estate purchases, you know, but they need money to rehab properties that they invest in, you know, to fix them up, to flip them. Maybe it needs a new roof, or, you know, they got to redo the floor or whatever. You know, they need that money to put into their investment to turn around, to sell it, flip it, hold it, have it as a rental, whatever. And I wanted to find out, you know, as I'm trying to plan, is that something that is possible in what we do? If they meet all the criteria.
Yes,
It
yes,
is?
it is. Yeah. It's not the primary market that I would recommend that you target, because out of the criteria, not only the monthly revenue that they
Right.
have to show, one thing that you don't see a lot in the criteria is that they have to have at least 3 deposits a month. Okay. So they got to be doing 5,000 monthly revenue minimum for Bank Breezy, preferably on the DAC side of the house, doing 15,000 or more, but 3 bank deposits minimum. So we find that in the real estate industry, if they have some rental properties where that's generating that solid monthly revenue and helping them meet those 3 monthly deposits, that is a good thing for them to get qualified for the funding. But yeah, we've done some, I've had some real estate agents that were doing exactly that came in and got $20,000 from us real quick as a bridge loan to finish out a project that they were trying to close on. So yeah, you're definitely thinking in the right way. And I'm so glad that you're on here tonight. I appreciate you sharing your story with everybody on the call tonight. Obviously, you and I have had that conversation, and you shared about Richie, and very, very, very touching story, and the fact that you've given up all of these other things to take care of your son. That's showing the true love of a mother. But I appreciate your background, your experience, and all I can say is, wow. I appreciate that you took this weekend and you're diving into the training and you're following that. There's no doubt in my mind that you're going to have great success here, as long as you do what you said. And that's the hard thing of picking up the phone and start reaching out. But guys, I hope y'all were listening when she's talking about her plan and what she's laid out. That's what each of you need to do, is really dive in here and look at this like a business. And as you said, not just dabbling in it, right? You're taking it seriously. You've got your materials printed out and you've got your plan laid out. You're strategically approaching what you need to do here, taking the information that we've laid out in the training, and now you're acting on that. So you just let me know if you need a hand on the calls. If you get on the phone with a business owner and they start asking you questions that you don't know, here's what you need to tell them. You say, those are great questions, and I don't want to give you any wrong information. I'm new. Do you mind if I try to get someone else on the line with us, that my team leader that will have the right answer, and let me see if she's available, and ask them if they don't mind holding, see if I'm available, or let me know when you're doing those calls. I'll be glad to do those with you. But I make myself available to anybody on the team that, one, is getting out there, going through the training, two, then doing the work and reaching out to clients and having conversations. I make myself available to those of you that are actively working. If you're hitting me with questions about training stuff all the time that's already covered in the training, I'll answer a few times, but most of the time I'm just going to drive you back to the training, right? I want to spend my time with people that are having conversations with the business owner. So let me know when you want to do those calls and I'll be happy to help. So thank you for your questions and thank you for your comments. And I'm so excited that you're here with us. So did I answer your question on the real estate? Did you have another part on that?
You did. I'm so happy that you answered that, because it gives me a starting point with some warm market. And let me just say, I appreciate your really kind words. And you know, God takes us through different things in our life, right? And I feel like the journey that I've been on with my son, even though like this is scary and everything's out of my my normal for the last 4 years, almost 4 years, and about 3 weeks, and but it's nowhere near as scary of what I've already been through. So I think about that. I am a lot stronger of a person than I ever was. I thought I was strong before. I wasn't. I really wasn't. But I feel I am a strong, really strong person. And all of us in life have been through things. It doesn't have to be as traumatic as the things that me and my son have been through. I mean, but everybody has their journey. And if you look back on your life about things that you've been through, if you could go through those things, you can set your mind to whatever you want and you can make it happen, especially if you have a reason why. So I am happy to be here, and I look forward to being part of meetings and having some, my son has aphasia, which means he has trouble speaking. So because of where he hit his head, he can't speak very well. He's speaking more, and he's very aware, but it's hard because I used to talk to him. We used to have conversations all the time. And so I don't always get those conversations a lot. So to be a part of this and talk with other people and share, I probably will talk people's head off, but I'm so happy to be here. And maybe one of our meetings, I can have my son pull his wheelchair in here and say hi, because for years he was always my partner in business. And for him to be a part or sit in occasionally would make him feel very good. So
absolutely.
That would be great.
That would be
Thank
awesome.
you, everybody. And I look forward to much success and sharing in everybody's success. And thank you so much for Ellen for having me on your team.
Yeah, absolutely. Super excited you're here. And I look forward to seeing Richie there, watching and interacting with the Zooms that we do. So anytime. Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you for your comments. All right. And Cherry, I see you have your hand up. What do you have tonight?
Hi, good evening, everyone. And congrats again, Ellen. Congrats
Thank
again
you.
and again and again.
Again and again and again. 3 times. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Sure, no problem. Regarding Roxana's comment, the contractors who do the renovations for the properties can qualify to get the funding, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. So she should go after the contractors.
Yeah, the contractors, that's really one of our hottest markets. And I'm glad you said that. I was just answering an email earlier. Contractors for the roofing, the framers, the HVAC, the electricians, the flooring guys, all of those bits and pieces that are part of the remodeling of a real estate project are great targets for us, because they're the ones that are actively out here trying to keep a crew going and keep this project going, or they need new equipment or whatever. So they need working capital and access to it. Most of them aren't going to have great credit scores where they can't get funded at the bank. So yeah, those are perfect. That is one of our top markets in our funding space, is anything in construction, right? But when we say that, is typically the contractors, as Sherry just said. So good point there for sure.
Sure. That's all I want to say.
Okay.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for your contribution as always.
Sure. Thank you.
All right. I don't see any other hands up. Oh, I got Tamira up now. Hi, Tamira. What do you have tonight?
I'm new. I watched a video on TikTok and clicked and signed up right away.
On
But
TikTok. Oh my gosh. Somebody's running ads on TikTok. I love it.
Oh, it's funny
I know
too.
who
I'm
that
like, oh,
is.
huh? Oh, you do?
Yeah, I know who that is, because I'm seeing all these agents come in. So good deal. Well, welcome. Glad you're here tonight.
Yeah. So now I did have one question. I was trying to find like information on how everything works and the training and things of that nature. You did send me a link to all of the things, but when I tried to click on it, it wouldn't open up. So I'm not sure. I'm using Chrome. Is that the designated window, or
Yeah,
should I be on Safari?
now Chrome is fine. Can you forward me what you're saying doesn't work so that I can look into that?
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
just
I'll do it after this if that's okay.
yeah, absolutely. Just send me that email, and I will look into it to see what is going on. But you received your welcome email from David Allen Capital, right? With your agent
Yes.
ID numbers?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Yeah, so at least start there, because that's going to take you back over to the Agent Resource Center to watch videos 1, 2, 3 at the top of the page. That's
Okay.
really required training before you start talking to clients, so that you understand the basics of the website,
Mhm.
understand our funding program, and then have a general idea of the compensation plan. You can watch those compensation videos over and over and over again, but you'll
Okay.
never fully understand it until you start getting the commission checks. When those commissions start coming in, that's when you really understand the compensation plan. But yeah,
Okay.
just send me that email. Thank you for mentioning that. I'll go look and see what it is that you're talking about not working, and I'll get it corrected. Okay.
Okay, will do. All right.
Yeah.
It
All
seems
right.
like a
Thanks,
very
Karen.
good protocol, so I'm really checking it out, and I'm like, I should be can I be my own first customer? Because I think my typical business is I get funding for foster parents when they're getting kids, like beds and things of that nature, but it's for profit, not for nonprofit.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I'm in Texas, so there's a lot of kids coming from everywhere, and
Right.
a lot of the foster parents aren't prepared. So what I've been doing is going around talking to like the furniture companies and stuff like that, and trying to get funding so that I could pay for it, and then they pay me back later. So I was thinking about doing, and I was like, I wonder, can I be my own first customer?
Well, the rule of thumb on that is if you're just getting started,
Hmm.
you should do funding, and you have meet all the qualifications. You should get funded through the person that introduced you to DAC. Okay.
Okay.
And
Hmm.
the ruling on this is this. What we don't want is for you as an agent to be out there presenting the funding opportunity or funding information, and a business owner starts looking into who DAC is, and they come across the agent opportunity, and then they decide, well, I'll just sign up as an agent and do the funding through myself.
Okay.
Therefore, they're bypassing you as the agent that referred them. So we have that policy in place to protect our agents. But on the other side, if you've been an agent for a while and you own a business and you want to get funding, then we really don't have a problem with you getting funding through yourself. So you can talk that over with your sponsor, but that's generally the protection there, is so that you don't come in as a business owner to circumvent the person that introduced you on the commission side.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yep.
Well, thank you so much for that. I
You're
just, it just
so
came
welcome.
up in my head. All right.
Yeah, you're so welcome. All right. Well, thanks for the questions. Glad to see you, and look forward to seeing a lot of you, I hope.
Yeah, you will.
All right. Awesome. Okay. I've got Neil, and I'm going to ask you to unmute. How are you doing tonight, Neil?
Doing all right, Ellen. How about yourself?
Excellent. Thank you.
I
Yeah.
saw your interview. I wasn't able to watch it in person, but I watched the redo, and it was great as always. So
Awesome. Thank you.
that's not why I raised my hand. Hey, do you know, I've looked at the DAC Facebook group and I joined it, and I'm trying to get a feel for whether or not people are setting up a professional Facebook page for their DAC business or not. It seems like it's kind of hit or miss. A lot of people are just using their personal pages, and I'm not sure if that's the right way to go about it. I mean, you're not
Yeah.
really supposed to promote business on a personal page all the
Right.
time.
Right.
But if you don't have a professional page, then how else would you do it? So,
Right. I would say if you have those skills, go for it. Okay. The one thing you cannot do is you cannot use Bank Breezy or David Allen Capital in the page address. Okay. David has created a David Allen Capital and a Bank Breezy corporate pages, and they're going to be doing some promotional material that you can either download and upload it to your own pages or be able to share from the corporate pages. But I would say go for it. I have a business page. It's DAC Business Services is my page, and I have all of our services on there. And I use that. I haven't updated it recently, but I built that page to promote our products and our services. And I just linked that a couple of weeks ago. I'm going, wait a minute, I don't even have my business page linked to my personal profile on Facebook. So I went in and I linked that and I listed it as an employment opportunity, right? So that launched and announced it to everybody on there. But I put June of 2018, which was my start date, and had a call that was coming in there. I put June of 2018, which was my start date for that new employment, but now it's listed on my personal profile, showing my business profile as attached. So I'd say go for it. That'd be perfect if you have the ability to do that. And if you don't, go Google it or YouTube it. Somebody will be teaching you how to set up a business page on Facebook for sure.
Well,
Good question.
I actually have a couple of them because I'm a realtor and also I've done some other things. So I know how to do it, but I'm curious, do a lot of DAC people just use the personal page? Is that what they're doing? Like,
Here's the big secret, Neil.
Yeah.
A lot of DAC agents are active. So the ones that are having success and the ones that are actively promoting DAC, yes, you've got the Shantae Roddies out there that have business pages that on that business page, she is promoting DAC stuff. I don't know if she has a DAC specific page, but she has another umbrella company that she operates under. And I see her promoting DAC services and Bank Breezy funding on her business page, not her personal page. If you are promoting on a personal page, for those of you that are taking what Neil's saying and thinking about it, it's okay to post business stuff on a personal page, but you want to have it like every third post that you do and no more of that. You want it to be a business and then a couple of family or social posts or images, positive images and stuff. Because if you just do business all the time on your personal page, you'll end up not having anybody following you. They won't be paying attention to your posts.
And I think Facebook has rules against it too.
They may very
Okay,
well.
I was just curious and I appreciate your insights.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for the question and your feedback and comments, always. All right, Harlequin, have I missed anything? Anybody else with a hand up or something in the chat that we need to answer before we wrap up?
Yeah, there was a question about finding the flyer in the Facebook page, this one for the referred clients. If you go to the DAC agents Facebook page and just do a search for preferred client plan, both of them will come up.
Okay.
And one thing that I will point out with Roxanne, with the real estate, all of those contractors and construction and landscaping, those are all part of that preferred client plan. So those would definitely be a good source to go after, especially right now through the end of the year. The other comment that I would make to Penny's thing about the Better Business Bureau, I actually used to work for them in sales. And I can tell you from personal experience, the way that they chose businesses to be part of the Better Business Bureau is the manager would go and take the business white pages, tear out a sheet, hand it to you and say, I recommend these businesses for membership in the Better Business Bureau. Please call all of them. If DAC is not listed, it's done by state. So DAC is officially in Michigan. So unless you search Michigan Better Business Bureau, you're not going to find it anyways. But what happens is if DAC is not listed on there, it's because there have been no complaints. So it's a good thing we're not on there.
Awesome. Good insight. Okay,
Yeah.
well, thank you as always, Harlequin. I always appreciate you working these calls with me. Penny has unmuted. Did you
Oh,
have
yes,
something
thank you.
new?
I just wanted to say thank you, Harlequin. I appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Awesome.
No problem.
Okay,
But I
good
think
stuff.
that everything that I saw in the Facebook, as far as questions. So, yeah, I think we're
Excellent.
good.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for your attention all the way to the end here. Thank you for those that had questions and participation tonight. I really appreciate it. That makes our calls always more informative when there are more voices to be heard. So thanks, everyone. We have our next meeting will be on Friday, the 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time Zoom, done by corporate. That's always a great update call. So put that on your calendar, and then I'll be sending this out along with a few things that we discussed here. I'll send this out by email shortly on the replay. Okay. Thanks, everyone. Have a great night. I look forward to having you all have success. Take care. Good night.